Hello everyone, my name is Nick, and it is once again somehow the end of the month, so it's time for another houseplant haul. So we're going to go over all of the plants I've acquired over this last month, the month of February 2020. As always, we're going to go over these plants in groups, and I'm going to start off with the Peperomias that I acquired this month. So this first one is pretty cool. I've never seen this one before until I was at a local plant shop recently. This is a Peperomia Napoli. This looks to me like a combination of Peperomia Frost meets Peperomia Rosso, and I'm a really big fan of both of those Peperomias, even though I don't even grow Peperomia Rosso in my home because I've killed it so many times, but it's just something I appreciate from afar, let's put it that way. But these leaves are just so beautiful. It's got that frost color of the Peperomia Frost, and the underside has that red kind of like crimson color carried over from Peperomia Rosso. So I'm wondering if that has anything to do with the parentage. I mean, Peperomia Frost itself is a rather new hybrid on the market, so I don't think that would have to do with it. So I would have to do some research there too. Don't quote me on anything I just said in the last 30 seconds, but this is a really cool Peperomia. I'm really excited about it growing in my home. It's not often, as a Peperomia collector, that I walk into a plant shop and I see a new Peperomia. So it's really exciting when I do find one. And that being said, there are a few others that look similar to this. There's the Peperomia Pearl and the Peperomia San Marino. Those don't necessarily do it for me, honestly. They don't strike that note for me like the way that Peperomia Rosso and this Peperomia Napoli is. So something very specific about the shape of the leaves, I guess, because they all look pretty much dead on the same, with just a few nuances here and there that differentiate them from each other. But really cool plant, really love the shape of these leaves, really love the colors involved, and it's flowering, as you can see these little flowers up here. So I guess it's happy. I've had it for 2 weeks, so I hope it's happy, but I would like to keep it happy for a long time because I haven't heard of that one prior to walking into the plant shop that I went to. So this right here is a Peperomia. They call this on the market Peperomia Peppermill. I don't think this is actually an identified species, but we're going to call it Peperomia Peppermill for lack of other information today. So this is a really lovely, different Peperomia. It's brown, it's a lime green as well. It's got these red stems. It's really nice. Actually, I was at a different local plant shop, City Planter. I'm a really big fan of them, and here in Philadelphia, and they got one of these in their Ripple Peperomia selection, so Peperomia caparata. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. So I was really excited about it, and it was a really good deal because their shop has really good prices, so I was really excited about this little one right here. So not too much to say about this. I grew another one in my home. I found it in a box. I got in a box in like a year ago of like terrarium plants from Florida, and it was just destroyed. Like the whole thing was just all over the place, and there was one of these inside the box. There was one of those orange Peperomia pumpkins. So since the box was, you know, annihilated, I had gotten credit for it at work, so I was like picking through and choosing a few things I wanted to bring home with me, and this was one of those plants. So I'm excited to have a more established one of these. The other one I have it's still alive, but it's not looking too hot compared to this one, so I couldn't pass up this when I stumbled into City Planter and I saw this in stock. Another Peperomia that I have, I think I actually just talked about this in my plants I've killed. I did talk about it, I'm pretty sure, in my plants I've killed video. This is Peperomia rugosa, and I was at a nursery recently and they had these chonky Peperomia rugosa. I've never seen them this full before, or not necessarily full because it's one plant in the pot. They had some pots that were like full and smaller leaves, and then they had some pots that were just like not full but had just like these humongous plants in them. So really beautiful foliage, if you guys can see. It's got some really lovely coloration to it and venation, and then the underside's red, which a lot of Peperomias have that red underside, which is just something I love about plants. So I figured why not give this one a go. It was a really good price. It was only $4.95. I don't know if you can see from there, only $4.95. But a really, really good price for a really fun Peperomia that you don't stumble upon that often. For something that's not that rare, you just don't stumble upon it very often. And I do have one more Peperomia to share with you guys today. This is another repeat for me. This is Peperomia fraseri, the flowering Peperomia. And I actually got this because the one, if you watched my houseplant tour video, which I believe was the last video I uploaded, houseplant tour video part 1, which you should go watch if you haven't already. Part 2 coming out next week. I am murdering my Peperomia fraseri, but I think I know everything that I'm doing wrong. I think it prefers a little bit higher humidity. I'm growing this one, not this one, but the other one in my kitchen. Not high humidity in there. So I'm going to try this one out in my bedroom, and then if it's telling me very quickly that it's not happy with me, I think I'll get a little glass cloche for it, but it's a little small right now, so I think I'd like to keep it out of a container for now, just because I could just put it anywhere, and then once I put the glass closure on it, it kind of takes up a little bit more room, if you catch my drift. So I'm gonna try this out for now. Wish me luck, but it's a very, small, inexpensive peperomia that I'm trying to figure out. So wish me luck there. If you do have any tips on caring for Peperomia fraseri, I would be very interested to hear, because clearly I am still learning myself. Next, we're going to go over all of the aroids that I acquired this month, and I don't have that many to share with you guys this time around, but the ones that I have are pretty interesting, so I'm really excited to share them with you guys. This first one right here is a Philodendron Bloody Mary. This is a hybrid according to the tag that's right in front of my face, and I really enjoyed these spade-shaped leaves that are nearly black. Same with the stem. This whole entire plant is nearly black. Of course, the leaves kind of fade back to like a kind of deep green, similar to the way like a pink princess philodendron kind of fades back over time, but these new leaves are just stunning with how deep color they are. It's something you don't see very often in houseplants. So I think I'm going to pair this one with like a like dark gray terracotta pot. I think that would really look really well, kind of play off the gothicness of this plant. So of course I'm not too familiar with this plant. I haven't really grown it in my home, but I think it vines. I'm pretty sure it's one that if you gave it a moss pole, it would really take to that moss pole setting and climb up, and the leaves would get much larger over time, but they would keep this spadic shape, which I really enjoy. Moving on to another aroid that I have. This is pretty cool. This is a peace lily, and I was just talking about, of course, in my plants I've killed video, that I don't have good luck with peace lilies, but I just recently saw these on my availability list at work, and I ordered them, and I was just obsessed with them. When I opened the box, I had never seen these before, and I just wanted to give it a go. It was Spath Silver Streak. I don't even think I said the name. So it's Spathiphyllum Silver Streak. And I saw it on my availability as Spath Silver Streak, and I ordered them, and when I opened the box, I gasped at how gorgeous these are. These look like a calathea to me. Doesn't it? Doesn't it look like a calathea? I think it looks dead on like a calathea. But it's a beautiful plant. I'm really excited about it. It's got this beautiful, how many times can I say beautiful? I need to work on my vernacular. It's got this stunning silver streak down the center, and it's got this like kind of, I don't even know how to word it, like brush strokes that come off of that silver streak down the center. It's just gorgeous. And the leaf is a bit thicker than the peace lilies that I have. I have a domino peace lily right next to me, and I thought this had thick leaves compared to the peace lilies that you normally see in houseplant shops, but this one's got a really thick leaf, so I'm hoping that means that it's something a little bit easier to grow indoors. Typically the cultivated varieties are a little bit easier. I mean, you could argue that all peace lilies are cultivated varieties at this point, the ones on the market, but yeah, I'm hoping that this one takes a little bit better to my home. So I'm actually trying this one out right underneath my grow light behind me here, similar to where I'm growing my Spathiphyllum domino, since that one is successfully growing for me. And I have not usually had good luck with peace lilies, but this one, I've only had it for like 2 weeks now, I guess, and it's just like other peace lilies where if you're not watering enough, it does get limp, but it doesn't fall as much as other peace lilies do, which I kind of enjoy, because I think it doesn't look as distressed, I guess would be the right word to say, when it's in need of water. So a little bit more resilient, but like I said, I've only had this plant for 2 weeks, so I can't necessarily speak on the care whatsoever at this point. And then I have one more aroid to share with you guys. This is really nice. This is a philodendron. Oh, it's not a philodendron. This was sold as a philodendron, but it's a Monstera Standleyanana Variegata, I believe is the name. I think this is also on the market as Philodendron Cobra. So just if you want to look out for that, that's actually what this was sold as, if you can see right here. But this is a really gorgeous variegated plant, very thick leaf, even thicker than the peace lily I was just talking to you guys about. And this looks like it's dying to climb up a moss pole. So I will be purchasing a moss pole for this plant very, very, very soon, within the week, because I will be repotting this very soon. Actually, I'm going to be repotting a lot of these plants in my next video. We're going to do a repotting video, so do stay tuned for that. I'm very excited about that. But a really beautiful variegated aroid. You don't see this one very often. I think the last two I shared are a little bit more common, I guess, now that the Spathiphyllum Silver Streak is available to me at the plant store that I work. I would assume it's going to become a little bit more available, but the other two philodendrons, the Bloody Mary and, or I guess, the Cobra or the Standleyanana, Monstera Standleyanana Variegata, these are a little bit more harder to come by, so I'm really excited about these aroids today. Next, we're going to go over all the Hoyas and the Hoya relatives that I've acquired this month. And this first one is a duplicate for me. This is a Hoya RETUSA. This is such a fun Hoya in its structure. It's so different than many of the other Hoyas. In fact, when I show people these at the plant shop where I work, they're usually shocked to even find out it's a Hoya if they hadn't heard of it before. But this, as you can see, has very thin leaves and they're clefted or retuse on the end. That's where it gets its name. It's such a fun out there one. So as I said, I got these in stock at Urban Jungle, where the plant shop where I work, and I just couldn't pass them up when I got them, and they just looked so good. So I decided to bring one home and pot it up with another one that I had in my home that was a little bit smaller and just wasn't doing it for me. And now this is doing it for me. This is a nice, beautiful full pot. So I'm excited to see how this one grows. Once it starts to trail and tendril all over the place, I'll definitely love to hang it up. But for now, it's just sitting on a plant stand where I can enjoy it in all of its glory. Moving on, I have a Hoya CUMINGIANA. This is a new one for me. This is a bush-like Hoya. I got this one from Logi's. No, it's the bush Hoya, but it grows in a bush-like pattern. So it's Hoya CUMINGIANA, the bush Hoya. So as I said, this grows in a more compact way. It's a bush-like or shrub-like Hoya, they call it in the Hoya community, meaning that it's just not going to like vine and tendril the way that the Hoya RETUSA I just shared with you guys would. So it's a little bit different in that manner. This one's a little bit more succulent, so I'm watering it less often than the Hoya RETUSA, which has those thinner leaves. This one's got thicker leaves. And of course, they have a much more meatiness to them, as they're not just little hair-like strands. So I do let this one dry out a little bit more than the Hoya RETUSA that I just shared with you guys. Of course, I've only been growing this one in my home for about 4 weeks now, so I can't speak really on its care, but I can tell you guys that much at least. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say about this Hoya than I just absolutely love it. It's just so cute, and I love the way it looks paired with this Brunning pottery planter. Moving on, I have another one that's new for me. This is Hoya CRASSIPES. This is a very succulent Hoya, once again, with some very oval-shaped leaves. It's very lovely. The deep green color is very nice as well, with a little bit of splash, as you can see. I really enjoy this one. I'm actually thinking about mounting this one. I think it would look really good on a mount, but I don't see this one very often, so I'm a little nervous that if it didn't take to the mount, perhaps, that I would lose it and I would have to go on an adventure to find it again. So I'm not really sure if I'm willing to do that at this moment, but we'll see. It seems like one that would hold up really well to a mount, though, from the way that it's structured. But I don't really have much to say, of course, about the care of this plant. I just really enjoyed the way that it looked, and I was really excited to find this one at a garden center when I was visiting, because you don't see it very often. In fact, I don't think I've really heard of it before then, if I'm being honest. So that was a fun new one for me. And then one more new one for me is this Hoya brevialata. This one looks like grapes. Like, it straight up looks like grapes if you look at it at the right angle. It's definitely a more alien Hoya compared to some of the other ones that I'm sharing with you guys, but it's got some really nice tendrils coming in, so I'm really crossing my fingers that this one takes really well to my home and that these tendrils continue to grow. Sometimes when you bring Hoyas into your home and they're growing happily and healthily in the nursery, they're just like, no, I'm not going to do that in your home. So I'm just really hoping that this Hoya brevialata does not do the same for me. So really love this more out there funky Hoya. It's certainly one you don't see very often, although I have seen it on Instagram, so I was really happy to stumble across it, because I was just like, I don't know where I'm going to find this plant. I have one more to share with you guys. This is not a Hoya. This is a Dischidia, and this is a Dischidia growing on a plaque. The grower is selling this as Dischidia OIANTHA. Ask me if that's correct, because I don't know, but that's what the grower is selling it as. This is a handmade item. Like, I didn't make this. This was bought through my Florida broker as handmade. So since this is a handmade item, just giving you guys a heads up, if you see these in your local plant shop, they're not going to be cheap because they're handmade. They're not going to be like the most expensive things on planet Earth, but they're definitely not inexpensive. But I'm just kind of curious about it, so I actually got 2 of them from the store. When I got them in, I got this plain version. I also got the variegated version, which I will show you guys a screen grab of, but I'm just not going to, talk about it today because I'm already talking about this one. But a really fun way to grow plants. You can put it anywhere practically, on the wall of course, but it's very fun. The way that this moss is, it dries out very quickly, so I do find myself watering this often, which is something I'm kind of nervous about. So I haven't quite figured this out yet. If you do have any tips, if you've been growing one of these Dischidia plaques in your home, do let me know. I'm just worried that I might be watering them too much, or that if I let them dry, they'll just like wither up and become nothing. That's something I'm terrified about, both at home and in the store. So I would love to hear from any of you if you're growing these Dischidia plaques in your home. I know that the grower does a few different types of Dischidia on these plaques. I think he also does Rucifolia, which is the Million Hearts one, and the Imbricata, which is more of like the ant plant Dischidia. So I would love to hear from you guys if you're growing these. They're very fun, new kinds of plants on the market. Last but not least, we're going to go over the odds and ends, or the plants that just simply do not fit into a category for this video. So this first one is a fern. This is a footed fern. This is a hybrid footed fern, if we're getting even more specific. This is a Phlebosia Nicholas Diamond, and of course, Nicholas is my birth name, so I had to give into that. But I'm getting really into ferns. Over the past year and a half, I've found some success with ferns, where prior to that, I had been a fern killer, and that's no fun. And it's feeling really good that I'm able to care for ferns now. So I'm reaching out and trying a few more out, but the Phlebosia is a footed fern, and I find footed ferns are a lot easier because they can handle more drought and more light than, say, a Boston or a maidenhair fern can. And they're just a little bit more resilient, so I just really appreciate that. And I really like the way that they look with their long little stems and then the fronds up top. It's just really nice. I'm a big fan. You can see a new leaf coming in right here. I'm not familiar with this plant at all, so I can't give you any tips. Maybe it could prefer less light than the other footed ferns. Maybe it wants more water. I don't know, but I'm going to learn, so that's why I have it here today. Moving on, I have this really beautiful Pilea. This is a Pilea repens. This has some, I don't even want to call it striking. It's striking to me. I'm going to put the drip tray down. It's striking to me, but I don't think it's going to be that striking to you guys. It's got some really fuzzy green stems on the backside. It's got some purple kind of chocolate hue to it. It just looks great. It looks really, really good. So I'm just a really, really big fan of this Pilea. I hadn't heard of it before, which sometimes is shocking to me. Not shocking, how have I not heard of this? But I'm why haven't I heard of this? Is this just not cultivated or something? I think I was talking about my last houseplant haul. I'm really giving it to Pileas lately. I was talking about Pilea grandifolia, I think it was, and I was just saying how it's not something I've seen cultivated, so sometimes I just question why things aren't cultivated. Are they hard to grow? But Pileas are really easy, so I just think there's probably just a lot of Pileas out there, the same way that there's a lot of Peperomias out there. So I need to stop thinking too hard about Pilea and just love them. So this Pilea repens is just stunning. I love it. It's got some really muted beauty, I want to say, because it's something you might just kind of graze over, but once you look at it, you're just this is a really lovely plant, and I'm just really excited to see how this one grows in my home. It's a lot more exciting to me than many of the other types of Pilea that I already grow in my home. Moving on, I have this very lovely Nematanthus, I think it is. Yeah, Nematanthus. So it's a type of goldfish plant, and they call this one champagne jam. Definitely needs a drink, so bear with me here. It needs a little bit of a perk up after I give it a drink after this video. But what really gets me about this is the back sides of these leaves. It's got this really stunning purple center, but it's outlined by the same color on the top side of the leaf, if not a little bit brighter, but it just looks so good. I've never seen this before, never heard of it until I was in the plant store or the nursery that I was at, and I just fell for this, and so did my friend. We both had to get one. But yeah, from above, it's nothing really special, but from below, it's everything. So I think I'm going to have to hang this one up high. I think I'm going to have to find somewhere where this is going to perform well, hung up in my home. But I almost regret not getting a few of these to make a nice full basket. But I think it was $8 or $9. Yeah, it was $8. So I was well, we'll do it for now. Not expensive by any means, but if you get a few of them, it could definitely add up. But a really beautiful plant. I'm really excited to watch this one grow. If it flowers, that's great. Goldfish plants are known for their blooms. But I am very thrilled with this foliage, so it's fine as is to me. And I have one more plant to share with you guys today. This is a Tradescantia. This is a Nanouk Tradescantia. This is newer on the market, I want to say. I've been seeing it more on Instagram from the European market, but this was the first I've seen it in the US, and then shockingly one of my growers sends me a photo actually earlier today that he had them in stock and ready to go. So you'll probably see these in the US if you haven't gotten it already very soon for a very low price. But this is a really beautiful, very, very succulent Tradescantia compared to like the standard, like the Tradescantia zebrina, the purple one. This is very, very thick. I'm like shocked how thick it is. I was not expecting it to be so thick in photos. But is this coming across at all? Like I'm trying to bend this and it's not even bending. It's like as thick as a succulent leaf, or like a Hoya. It's as thick as a Hoya, if not thicker. It's just blowing my mind. It's really cool. And then the undersides of the leaves are just beautiful with that really heavy purple presence. I don't grow a lot of Tradescantia in my home. They are not easy to upkeep. They're easy to grow. By all means, they're very, very easy to grow. But once you have it for like a year's time, if you have some long vines, it's going to be like very scraggly and brown and crispy up here, and you just have to keep cutting them back. So, you know, they're easy to grow. Like I said, they're just hard to maintain because you really have to maintain them. It's just something I'm not willing to do. So I just wanted to try this out. Hopefully it is a little bit better behaved. I grow a few of the other more succulent types of Tradescantias in my home. I don't grow any of the zebrina, but I grow, say, the Pilea and the Montana. I really enjoy those. So I figured that the Nanouk would be right up my alley. So I'm really excited about this. But for the $6 that it costed, who could pass this up? I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, that is all the plants that I have to share with you guys today for my February 2020 houseplant haul. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Hopefully I don't have nearly this many plants to share with you guys next month, but I probably will have a bunch to share with you guys, so buckle up. Thank you guys again for joining me. If you don't already, follow me on Instagram at Philly Foliage, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Have a great day.